Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. This one is titled Metacognition, Learning to Learn. Just an overview of the concept. Metacognition is knowledge concerning one's own cognitive processes and products or anything related to them. So it's pretty broad. For example, any learning relevant properties of information and data. Here's a formal definition, quote, in any kind of cognitive transaction with the human or non-human environment, a variety of information processing activities may go on. Metacognition refers to the active monitoring and consequent regulation and orchestration of these processes in relation to the cognitive objects or data on which they bear, usually in the service of some concrete goal or objective. So obviously metacognition helps us learn in both the human and non-human environment, which is again pretty broad. So what do we use it? It can help us when we teach with metacognition. It involves instructors to think about their own thinking regarding their teaching, but it's not only for teachers, it's also for students. So you teach for metacognition. This involves instructors thinking about how their instruction helps to elucidate learning and problem-solving strategies to their students. So it helps both the teachers teach, but also when they teach to help those who are there learning with learn. Here are some examples of metacognition, more practical ones. It's when you notice that you're having more trouble learning A than B. That's an example. That's when you notice that you should double check C before accepting it as a fact. When you notice that you scrutinize each alternative in any multiple choice type task situation before deciding the best one. It's when you notice you make a note of D because you may forget it. And when you notice you ask someone about E to see if they have it right. So it's again these sort of broader thoughts on how you're learning. It's not just learning itself, it's how you're learning it and any struggles you might be having. So what are the benefits for the learner? One, you're more self-aware as critical thinkers and problem solvers. 2, it helps you monitor, plan, and control their mental processes. 3, it helps to assess the depth of their knowledge. 4, transfer, apply knowledge skills to new situations. 5, choose more effective learning strategies. And 6, more likely to perform better academically. So a number of different benefits for learners when you do metacognition. It also helps teachers. Teachers are first more self-aware of instructional capacities. From this, they know the teaching strategies they rely on, when and why they use these strategies, and how to use them effectively and inclusively. 2, it helps teachers better regulate instruction before, during, and after a class. It helps them plan what and how to teach, monitor how lessons are going, and make adjustments and evaluate how a lesson went afterwards. Another benefit 3 is to better communicate. It helps students understand what, why, and how of their learning, which can lead to better learning outcomes. And 4, for teachers, it helps them be able to use knowledge of students' metacognitive skills themselves. So by having metacognition, it helps teachers plan instruction to improve students' metacognition and to create inclusive course climates. So again, it helps both learners and teachers. Here's some strategies that help improve metacognition. 1, it helps to teach students how brains are wired for growth, in terms of the ideas of Carol Dweck and the growth versus fixed mindset. 2, it gives students practice recognizing what they don't understand. For example, if you ask them what was the most confusing thing about the material we explored today. So it shows them what they don't understand. 3, it provides opportunities to reflect on coursework. For example, after a unit, you may ask, how has my thinking about X changed since taking this course? Other strategies: 4, use a rapper to increase students' monitoring skills. A rapper is an intervention that surrounds an existing activity and integrates metacognitive practice. For example, say if you're having a lecture before, you can give tips about active listening. 5, you can helps you consider essay versus multiple choice exams. The research has shown that students use lower level thinking skills preparing for multiple choice exams, and essays are better at that, having higher level thinking. And finally, another strategy, it facilitates reflexive thinking. This is dialogue challenging human and societal biases. So a number of strategies that improve metacognition. Here's some metacognitive instruction practices. 1 is pre-assessments. This is where you encourage students to examine their thinking. For example, you can ask them, what do I already know about this topic that could guide my learning? So it pre-assesses what they know. The muddiest point. Number 2. Giving students practice on identifying confusions. For example, you could ask them, what was the most confusing thing to me about the material explored in class today? It helps them identify any confusions they have when they're learning. 3, retrospective postassessments. is where you push students to recognize conceptual change. An example of a question to prompt this is, before this course, I thought evolution was whatever it is. Now I think evolution is this. Or how is my thinking changing or not changing over time? So again, it post-assesses their learning. Finally, 4, reflective journals provides a forum in which students monitor their own thinking. A question would be, what about my exam preparation worked well that I should remember to do next time? What did not work well so that I should not do next time or that I should change? So again, those are a number of metacognitive instruction practices. So that was Metacognition, Learning to Learn. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.